On ABC Victoria, this is Mornings. Now imagine being a natural storyteller, having your head full of amazing characters and visions of other worlds, but not being able to write any of it down. Well, it's one of the ironies for many people living with dysgraphia, a neurological condition where they have difficulty turning their thoughts into written language. Bella Clare is a neurodiverse author from Bendigo who has just published her first YA fantasy novel, so that's young adult fantasy novel. She's been diagnosed with dyslexia and dysgraphia, which has always made learning and writing a huge challenge, but it hasn't prevented her from sharing the stories she sees so clearly in her mind with others. She spoke with the ABC Central Victoria's Jo Prince.
I like writing coming of ages, sort of that kind of area, definitely fantasy and fiction. I'm really drawn to that area because it's just, I can do what I like. I can world build as much as I like and express myself in ways that I don't really find I can in real life in a way. In my books, I like to actually talk about things that haven't been talked about or don't get talked about a lot.
You want to give me an example of that?
So in this book there's a lot of talk of it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. That's a big factor in this book. There are other cases where you go through something and you don't necessarily get over it. You learn to live with it. And that's, or sometimes in my opinion, it can be seen as a bad thing. But I don't think it is. You can learn to live with these things and you can accomplish these things with, living through these things. You grow from it. I actually like to think as life is like a ripple, and the ripple, once you drop it, it expands. I think that's a pretty good metaphor, a pretty simple one, but yeah, it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and eventually it becomes this massive thing.
So do you really relate to the characters that you're writing? There's something in each of them that you relate to?
As an author, I try not to put too much of myself in my characters because I want to be able to say this is a character, that's not me. But I think every author's journey, they put a little bit of themselves into the character. So I think a little bits have slipped in there and here and there, but I've tried really hard to make my characters themselves.
So what's the premise for the novel? What's the storyline there?
So basically it's just a coming of age about a girl who's in a world and she's got to find her way in this world. And she's looking for a purpose in her life, and by the end of the book she finds it.
But in between all that, you've got this beautiful picture of a world that is one that you've created, and everybody sort of behaves in different ways. And
yes, so it does take place in a world that doesn't exist here. It's called Athethia, and so yes, there are different rules and very rigorous rules that she has to follow, and yeah, she just wants to break free of that.
And what's the writing process like for you? Do you have is the story, does it come to you immediately, or do you...
No. So I actually had the prologue for this story I had for many, many years just sitting on the shelf, and I didn't know where I wanted to go with it. And then one day, about 2.5 years ago, I was just surfing, can't remember, some social media I was on, and I came across this saying or this law, and it was called the Rule of Three. And I thought, what a cool concept. So I hyperfixated on that. The Rule of Three has many meanings, but to me, I took from it past, present, and future. And that's where the ideas started flowing for the actual book.
Do you picture the world visually?
Yes,
right.
I think in pictures. So I am very visual, and I like to think I'm an oversharer sometimes. So in the book, I think I might have really delved into what the world looked like and what the characters looked like. And so I hope when people read it, they can get what I was seeing in my mind.
Yeah. But then also, I guess there's that thing about an audience where they'll often sort of put their own imagination onto things as well. Yeah?
Yes, which is something I also do love about reading, is that everybody has their own interpretation of it. And I love constructive criticism because it tells me that, hey, I can improve from this. Thank you. I think that's a bit of a compliment.
Tell me a little bit about what you like the most about writing?
Well, I've been I've been telling stories since I was a little girl, and I've always wanted to be able to express my stories, but I've never really been able to because I suffer from a disability called dysgraphia and also dyslexia. So it's quite difficult to get those ideas from my head out into the world in any form. So actually, with modern technology, I actually got a new laptop and it came with a inbuilt microphone. So about 2 years ago, I discovered this and I have been smashing out stories since.
So this is like voice to text kind of technology. Oh,
yes.
Great.
Yes.
So it makes everything easier.
Yes, way easier.
So I think I understand what dyslexia is. What was the first thing you said?
Dysgraphia.
Dysgraphia. What is that?
It's basically where I can only retain certain information or 5-letter words at most. So I can think them and I can say them, but I can't write them.
Right, okay.
This new technology, it's great. I'm able to just click the microphone and it will write it for me. Amazing.
And what do you read a lot of fantasy books as well?
So when I'm writing, I actually try not to do a lot of reading because I find it distracts me from my story. But in saying that, when I'm not writing, I love to read. As hard as it is, I still very much enjoy it.
Do you have any favourite authors?
It's cliche, but I do like the Akatar series,
right.
Sarah J. Maas. I really do like her stuff. I am actually quite into anime and that sort of stuff,
right.
and really, really love those sort of worlds as well. Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking My Hero Academia. Absolutely adore that world. It's just so well set up and stuff, and the storylines and plots, I quite enjoy them.
So, are you writing some more books?
I am. I have the next 2 books in the Crown series planned out.
That's Bella Clare, who's a neurodiverse author from Bendigo. She's written 3 books since the age of 17 and recently launched her debut YA fantasy novel, so young adult fantasy novel, To Wear a Crown of Shadows, which you can find at several online bookseller sites and her own website.